What's going on, guys? G2 here. Welcome back to the bench, and today we're going to do a very quick video on a revisit of our Chinese Atlas Bipod knockoff. And I did a video on this about 18 months ago, and we have been using this pretty much every time I go out to the range, whether it's on the 308 or it's on another gun. I'm putting this on to make sure that, you know, it's getting a lot of use. And this is kind of a revisit and also a fix to the issues that we talked about in the first video. Now, if you haven't seen that video, I'm going to link it right here. You can go check that out. It's also going to be at the end of the video as well. Now, the one thing that I love, well, I guess there's a lot of things I really like about this bipod. The QD mount is a great QD mount. It's solid, it's sturdy. It didn't need any work on it. Now, all of these little fittings that all go together, we Loctited all these 18 months ago. I'm happy to say nothing has backed out, nothing has failed. This QD mount is rock solid. The legs work great. They have their 5 positions. They still have that little bit of movement in them, which is to be expected because this ratcheting system here is stamped steel, not milled, so it's the tolerances are going to be a little bit off. I was willing to make that sacrifice, I guess you could say, for the whole thing. Now, everything else works fine. The legs, again, it's a 5-position leg, so you got 1, 2, 3, 4, excuse me, it's a 4-position leg. Well, including the top one would be 5. So you've got your 5 positions. It's really nice. They move easily. They don't get caught. I've had 0 issues with this. We talked about the knurling being a little less than ideal. You know, obviously the Atlas is going to have way better knurling than this does, and that's, again, to be expected for the price point of the Atlas. But nevertheless, it does the job. The feet, you can see for yourself, have worn out pretty good, in my opinion. No gashes, no nicks, nothing like that on them. I haven't found anything to replace them, but I haven't had the need to replace them either. So let's go on to the biggest part of this, was this nut at the bottom. This thing was, if you remember, it would be backing out on itself. Every time we would turn it, it would stop and then turn, and stop and turn, and this would essentially back out on itself. Well, I have that fixed. It was a $7 fix, and you can loosen it up, right? So you can use your cant as well, and you can see here that nut does not turn when we move that. It stays right on. No matter how loose we get it, that nut stays still. And I'm happy to say it was a very easy fix, and I'm going to show you what it was. Right here. O-ring. I got them at Harbor Freight. Now, Harbor Freight has a variety of options. They have nitrile, they have another kind, and then they have this HNBR. Now, the HNBR is what you want. You don't want the nitrile, you don't want the other one. This one has a much higher resistance, as you can see. Withstands wider temperature variation and resists more chemical than standard O-rings. And that is 100% true. They are green, so as opposed to being black, these are green. But in this application, it doesn't matter because you can't see them. They're inside here. So, variety of sizes that you can have here. You just have to play around and find the right size, and you'll be good to go. You only need 2 of them. So I guess in theory you could just get them and whatever, but this whole thing I think was $6. So, you know, whatever. And all it takes is 2. We'll unscrew this right here and I'll show you where they go. So the first one goes right in here. And what that does is it keeps that nut from moving around. It locks this guy in really, really well. And that's just recessed into the groove there. The second one goes on the bottom. You can see all the grease on there. Right inside the spring, kind of like that. It sits, the spring sits inside of that. Now there were like these little washers on there to begin with. Not the best, but you know, now with everything in there, they seem to work really well. So that's it. You've got your two washers, your one there and your one on the other spot. Now when you put this in, you basically just set it back up, screw it down on itself, and this guy is set and good to go. You can see it doesn't back out on itself. We really tighten it down. Moves all together with the pan as you loosen it. So if you want to get a little bit of cant, you would loosen this down. You've got your cant and you have your pan, and nothing backs out on itself. So we talked about the price point on this. Now this was, I can't remember at the time, I want to say 40 bucks, 45 bucks compared to an Atlas, which is $240. So you're saving $200 on an item that, yes, is technically counterfeit. Yes, some people may not be okay with that. You know, I'm not here to argue your point. I'm here to just state the facts. And these are the facts. This thing works great. With a couple little upgrades. So we talk about what we've got in this dollar-wise. We've got $7 on top of what we paid for these, and you have a lifetime supply of these now, because these only take 2 at a time, and that's it. So if you're thinking about it, I'm not going to put the link in the description because I don't want to advertise counterfeit items. If you look on Amazon, I'm pretty sure you'll be able to find it. This one had the QD mount attachment. Some of them do not. You pick the one that you like the best, whether it's an Atlas, whether it's a counterfeit. Maybe you got both. Maybe you've got an Atlas and then you've got a backup. This is a great piece. I mean, we're talking 18 months and this thing looks practically brand new. I can't even find any rub marks or anything. I knew these are painted. They're not nitride, but nothing is rusting out. All in all, I have 0 complaints with this. I think it was a great investment, and for the price point, I couldn't beat it. So you decide for yourself. Until next time, make sure that you're practicing safe weapons handling at all times and treating every weapon as if it was loaded. God bless America. G2 out.